Good. So, welcome to Bhakti Bhava class. Yesterday we discussed about King Nabi performed an austerity, a sacrifice with a desire to have a nice children who will be like Supreme Lord. Lord Vishnu appeared, being pleased with the King Nabi's devotional service as well as Brahmana's devotional service. Brahmanas offered prayers saying that we are not devotees and saying that King is also not devotee, but we are performing the sacrifice, having a desire to have a simple, insignificant son. Sorry for calling you for a pretty thing. He just want to have a son who is like you. Then on the other hand, Lord says that of socha small. It is very difficult to give such kind of a person because there is no one who is like me or who is equal to me. So since you people said Brahmanas what should never be proven wrong, I'll make myself appear as the son of King Nabi. So Lord appeared eventually. Lord is so great that all the people said that now we don't want Nabi, we want Rshabhadeva only as our king. So making him king, Nabi went to the forest, performed severe austerities, austerities of Vanaprastha order, went back to Godhead. And Rshabhadeva became the king. Of course, as a student, he established ideal example of student, Brahmachari. As a householder, he established ideal householder example. And then he married Jayanti, daughter of Indra, gave birth to 100 sons. Out of 100, Bharat also excellent like him. And then his younger 9 brothers became sub-rulers of the entire Bharatavarsha. 9 became Navayogendras, 81 became Brahmanas. Now starting from verse number 14 onwards. Someone read the translation.
Being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rsabhadeva was fully independent because his form was spiritual, eternal, and full of transcendental bliss. He eternally had nothing to do with the 4 principles of material misery: birth, death, old age, and disease. Nor was he materially attached. He was always equipoised and he saw everyone on the same level. He was unhappy to see others unhappy, and he was the well-wisher of all living entities. Although he was a perfect personality, the Supreme Lord and the controller of all, he nonetheless acted as if he were an ordinary conditioned soul. Therefore, he strictly followed the principles of Varnashrama Dharma and acted accordingly. In due course of time, the principles of Varnashrama had become neglected. Therefore, through his personal characteristics and behavior, he taught the ignorant public how to perform duties within the Varnashrama Dharma. In this way, he regulated the general populace in household life, enabling them to develop religion and economic well-being and to attain reputations, sons and daughters, material pleasure, and finally eternal life. By his instructions, he showed how people could remain householders at the same time become perfect by following the principles of Varnashrama Dharma.
Okay. Big translations. One translation is 1 page almost. This canto is like that only. Be patient. The Supreme Lord named Rshabhadeva. I came from kitchen. Sorry. The Supreme Lord named Rshabhadeva was independent. Swayam Atmatantraha. Lord is independent only. For that matter, all of us are also independent. Nonsense. Eternally free from the succession of material changes. Nitya Nivritta Anartha Paramparaha. Nitya Nivritta Anartha Parampara. Anartha Parampara say Nitya Nivritta. Eternally liberated. Are you getting? But we are constantly affected by Anartha Parampara. So it's like that. And is always full of bliss. Kevala Ananda Anubhava. How many of us can say that Kevala Ananda Anubhava? क्या वो खुद सेवस्थान में बैठे, सेवस्थान में बैठे, क्या आनंद है। सेवस्थान में है मतलब ऑलरेडी मिजरेबल है। वेलकम टू मटेरियल वर्ल्ड। क्या भी, I think he is the one of the students in BT who has spent longest time in Sevastan among all different batches. पता नहीं, but maybe Brajman Prabhu also used to stay in Sevastan for a long time.
I don't want to create any records from this.
No problem, no problem, no problem. Sukumar Krishna is there anyway. Since the time he came here, he was in Sevastan only. He is a member as well as in charge also.
Gaurav Darshan was also there, no? For a long time.
Yeah, awesome. It's Prabhuji made entry into intellectual club. Intellectual club. Full of bliss. Kevala Ananda Anubhava. And the soul controller, Ishvara Eva. He the soul controller. हम बोल सकते कंट्रोलर, बट हम है नहीं. बट आनंद के लिए बोल सकते, थोड़ा सा फन के लिए बोल सकते, बट ही इज एक्चुअल कंट्रोलर. But like the jiva, performed prescribed activities and taught dharma. Like all of us, he performed all the varnashram duties in order to set an example. Yadyad acharati shrestha tattateva itaro. उसके बाद हाँ, मतलब श्लोका तो याद है, वन मीनिंग क्या है?
An example for for all the people in general to follow.
संस्कृत स्कॉलर है, तिरुपति स्कॉलर निकल गए. Performed prescribed activities and taught dharma which had been destroyed by showing an example. Which had been destroyed. The dharma kalayana anugatam. By the influence of time, that has forgotten. But Lord Rsabhadeva, by performing it, he showed it, he revived it back to the people in general so that they will follow. By showing an example to persons ignorant of dharma, for those people who do not know about it. Atavida. He re-established the principles of dharma. He was equal to all, sama. He was in control of his senses, upashanta, peaceful. He was friendly to all, maitra. And he was compassionate to all, karunika. These are wonderful qualities of Lord Rsabhadeva. He regulated the people in household life by having them attain morality, wealth, fame, offspring, and bliss. He established a proper governance in which the citizens could follow dharma, could follow artha, could attain yasha, could attain prajananda. Prajananda means happiness of having children. Okay? And then amruta avarodena, could attain bliss. Amruta means the complete satisfaction in this life and also in the next life. Eternal happiness in one sense. Today and tomorrow also. Tomorrow means, today means this life, tomorrow means next life. So in that way. As a king, he makes sure that everyone will have all these things. This is the prime duty of a king. So when politician comes contesting, you should ask, all these are there in your portfolio, in your manifesto, then we will vote, otherwise we will not. Does any politician talk about all these things? Dharma, Artha, Yasha, Prajananda, Amruta, Avarodhana. They talk, they say, Ramarajyam layenge. Will increase your financial status. Will increase the name of the India. And other things. They do promise.
At least promise.
Viparitatvat means like the jiva who is not independent. By attainment of dharma, etc., he regulated the people or he made them blissful. Nya. Nyaramavat. Nyaramavat. Well, basically, he provided facilities in a proper way so that people can practice dharma. And by as a result of that, they can attain artha and yashas, prajananda. and also happiness, everlasting happiness, happiness in this life and happiness in the next life also. Because everyone is leading a dharmic life. If not spiritual world, at least they'll go to Swarga next life. Yes, धार्मिक लाइफ है तो स्वर्ग प्रमोशन मिल जाएगा, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं, नरक तो नहीं जाएगा. So it's like that. यद यद शीर्षण्या चरितम तद्दत् अनुवर्तते लोक. पढ़ो
इधर क्या है?
वही सेम वर्स. यद यद आचरति लोक तत्तदेव इतरो जन. Whatever is performed with the best person, yad yad शीर्षणया आचरितम is followed by the people. ఇక్కడ శీర్షణయ అంటే मतलब శిరస, head. Whatever performed by the people who are like head, other people follow. Whatever a great man performs, common people follow. शीर्षणय means the best. यद्यपि स्वविदितं सकल धर्मं ब्राह्मं गुह्यं ब्राह्मणैर् दर्शित मार्गेण समाधिभिर् उपायैर् जनताम् अनुशासास. Though he knew the secret of the Vedic knowledge, which contains all dharmas, sakala dharmam, he ruled the people by the path shown by the Brahmanas. He himself is the Supreme Lord, he knows everything, he is all-knowing personality. But still, to establish a proper conduct of a bona fide king, he followed the Brahmanas. Whatever Brahmana said, he implemented as the king. That's how he established the proper conduct of a king. By the path shown by the Brahmanas, with sense control and tolerance. He was completely tolerant, he kept all his senses under control. He never argued with the Brahmanas. What do you know? What do you think? I don't know, or what? So he never behaved like that. He simply followed whatever Brahmana said, because his father gave that responsibility to Brahmanas. Please take care of my son in my absence. I'm going. So, though he knew the secret explained in the Vedas, which included all subject matters, he taught the path shown by the Brahmanas only. Whatever Brahmanas suggested, he followed. But these Brahmanas are also not ordinary people, they are like perfect devotees. They had the capacity to bring Lord Vishnu down to show to King Navi. Because they performed yajna. As a result, Lord Vishnu came down. They are also wonderful devotees. So there was no objection to follow in their footsteps. So in that way. Please read next translation, 17th.
Lord Rsabhadeva performed all kinds of sacrifices 100 times according to the instructions of the Vedic literature. Thus, he satisfied Lord Vishnu in every respect. All the rituals were enriched by first-class ingredients. They were executed in holy places according to the proper time by priests who were all young and faithful. In this way, Lord Vishnu was worshipped and the prasada was offered to all the demigods. Thus, the functions and festivals were all successful.
Glory to the Brahmanas. He worshipped by performing sacrifices according to the instructions dedicated to various devatas. Vivida Uddesha Upachitai 100 times. Shatakratva with abundant ingredients, proper place and time, youth, faith, and peace. So Rshabhadeva completed 100 sacrifices. Prithu Maharaj could not complete. He did 99. Indra disturbed the 100th one. But Indra already had interaction with Rshabhadeva previously. 12 saal rain stop kiya. So Lord don't put another set of rains. So that time only to pacify, he gave his daughter. He understood now again, next time I should not do anything. So this time Indra did not obstruct, but he completed Shatakritva. 100 yajnas he completed, wherein different devatas are being worshipped. And how will it perform? With abundant ingredients, proper place at proper time, with the youthful attitude, complete faith, and praise with the guidance of the priests. All these things are there.
विविध उद्देश्य उचितैः. Yeah.
विविध उद्देश्य उपचितई. उपासना किसके लिए उपासना रहते हैं? यज्ञ में किसको पूजा करते हैं?
विष्णु।
हाँ, कभी सुना नहीं क्या यज्ञ में क्या होता है? कभी यज्ञ कैसे चलता है? 2 दिन पहले गीता यज्ञ हुआ था, सुबह भी यज्ञ चल रहा था ऊपर। पूरा सुना क्या सुबह शुरू से एंड तक? in the marriage ceremony or name giving ceremony or opening ceremony in other places anywhere,
सुना।
सब devatas name will be there, Vishnu also will be there. Both will be there. The devatas are worshipped as different body limbs of Lord Vishnu. Nothing wrong in worshipping them. They are all our seniors. They are taking care of us nicely. What is the problem? वो नहीं तो हमको कैसे कर चलेगा? सूर्यदेव नहीं रहेगा तो सनलाइट किधर है? इंद्रदेव नहीं रहे तो बारिश किधर है? भोजन किधर है? भोजन नहीं मिलेगा आपको। सर्विंग के लिए भी नहीं मिलेगा, खाने के लिए तो बड़ी बात, दूसरी बात है। So it's like that. We need to depend on Agni Devata, both outside and inside. किचन में एक अग्नि है, उधर के अंदर और एक अग्नि है, दोनों अच्छे से काम कर रहे तो कुछ होगा। So it's like that. He worshipped by sacrifices filled with abundant ingredients. Age refers to youth because it is said, Yuvaiva dharmam anviched. One should execute dharma during one's youth. One should execute dharma during one's youth. He worshipped with various devatas as the object. Nowadays people say ये धर्मा गिरमा सब ओल्ड लोगों के लिए, यूथ के लिए नहीं। यूथ मतलब it's like that. Then बाद में say that when Rshabhadeva ruled the Bharata Varsha, no one ever desired false objects by taking from others. No cheating mentality, no stealing mentality. सबके साथ सब कुछ है, किसी और का संपत्ति के ऊपर दृष्टि डालने की आवश्यकता नहीं था। आजकल ऐसा होता है क्या? आजकल नहीं होता ऐसा। But during his rule, no one desired false objects by taking from others. False means दूसरा लोगों का ऑब्जेक्ट है, उसको false object जैसे दिख रहे थे। Everyone constantly accepted Rshabhadeva as the greatest object of affection with their whole self. For them, there is only one real object, that is Rshabhadeva. Other than him, everything else is false objects. They are not interested in any other things. They are only interested in Lord Rshabhadeva. Just they are eager to serve him whatever way it is possible. That kind of society is the ideal society. Lord is the center of all one's activities. Then where is the problem? Where is the dissatisfaction? Where is the struggle? Where is the all other things? While the Bharata Varsha was protected by Lord Rshabhadeva, no one had any desire for anything non-existent. Avidyamanam, like a flower in the sky, or sky of himself, like a flower in the sky of himself, by taking from others. Matlab some imaginary ideas people do not have. They do not wanted anything unnecessarily, which does not have any factual use in one's devotional service. Everyone had only great affection with their total selves for Lord Rshabhadeva. Selflessly, completely, all people had affection for Lord Rshabhadeva. According to Amarkosha, the word Antara means opportunity, space, pride, cloth, disappearance, difference in reference, in opening, one's own, except, outside, occasion, within, and the inner soul. Here, one's own, the word is used in that way it is mentioned. Antara. So basically, people are completely contented. They are happy in serving Lord Rshabhadeva. They are not interested in material acquisition. They are not interested in others' properties. They are happy. आजकल पूरा दुनिया अलग ही चल रहा है. People want other things easily. Finally, Once after marriage is over, while ruling, after 100 sons were growing, they have gone to Gurukul, they studied, they came back. Think like that. So one day what happened? While traveling along with his 100 sons, Lord Rishabha, the Supreme Lord, arriving at Brahmavarta, and there he taught, he attended to 100 sons who were self-controlled and filled with obedience and devotion in an assembly of the best Brahmanas and sages. While the citizens listened, he spoke as follows. I've been to this place, Brahmavarta. Huh? Bittur. Or no, but even in the country Bittur also, in the entire city, on the bank of Ganga, there is one place. Lord Brahma's lotus feet are there. And they call this area is Brahmavarta. This is here. Lord Rsabhadeva spoke teachings of Rishabha to his 100 sons. Even today also they say. On the bank of Ganga only. That is the bathing ghat is there. People come and they do bathe. Then they offer flowers and water to Brahma's lotus feet. That they say Brahmavarta. It is like a holy place today. The bank of Ganga, big Ganga river is there. And big bathing ghats are there. People bathe there. And then eventually they go to different temples to take darshan. So it's like that. So one day, while visiting different places in the entire city, in the entire kingdom, they came to this place, especially the bank of Ganga, within the Brahmavarta area only. There, Lord Rsabhadeva taught the important teachings to his 100 sons. So then, what did Lord Rsabhadeva taught? He is there in the 5th chapter. In the 5th chapter, after giving instructions on bhakti to the Lord, after giving instructions on bhakti to the Lord, to his sons and citizens, Lord Rsabhadeva makes Bharata the king. He goes to the forest and shows the conduct of a dumb man. So before he could renounce, before he could take Vanaprastha order, so the day before he would make his son next king, he gave his final teachings, his final instructions to his 100 sons as well as his citizens in his kingdom. सबके लिए एक final उपदेश दे दिया. That final upadesh is chapter 5. This is a little bigger chapter. So the instructions goes all the way up to verse number 27. 1 to 27 are the instructions. 28 to 35, what did Shukdev do in the Vanaprastha order? What are the different types of austerity that he went through? They are mentioned in the last section of this chapter. Any questions till now? No prashna?
He was the sole ruler for Bharatvarsha.
In one sense, he is the monarch of the entire Bhumandala. Though he is the monarch of entire Bhumandala, but locally his kingdom is Bharatavarsha.
Like now, the next generation, that is the 9 sons of Shubha, they ruled each Varsha.
No. Bharat Maharaj became the ruler of Bharatavarsha. His 9 younger brothers, they ruled 9 divisions within Bharatavarsha and reported to their elder brother. Central government and state government. Within Bharatavarsha only there are 9 islands. The 9 younger brothers ruled.
Only, not only ruled Bharatvarsha, but also the...
See, when you say somebody ruling India means what? Ruling India means what?
All the states.
Everything in India. But later on his son is also ruling India. But he has some younger brothers. They were locally ruling each individual state. they are all reporting to the elder brother. So elder brother is ruling over all over Bharatavarsha. So like that. Because generally the eldest son becomes the king, next king. Though all the other sons are there, they may be given responsibility to take care of some other small kingdoms, but they are supposed to report to the eldest brother. That is the rule. It is like that. They cannot be independent kings. Even if they can become kings of some provinces, they have to report to the eldest brother. The eldest brother always remains monarch. So that is the principle. महाभारत पढ़ना चाहिए. रामायण में Lord Rama is the eldest one, supposed to become the king. Kaikeyi said Bharat should have become king. So Bharat could have become king. Why did not become king?
Because he was not the eldest.
Huh?
He was not the eldest.
He does not. He never thought of that. So Lord Rama is elder brother. He will be the king. We will help him. We will support him in all respects. So even the situation was like that, he could have become the king next, but he did not become. He brought the lotus feet of Lord Ram, kept them on the Simhasan. He ruled. He took care of the entire kingdom on behalf of Lord Rama's lotus feet, lotus chapel, as a humble menial servant. So that is the mood in the past. Even 5 Pandavas, after becoming victorious also, they did not rule over separately. Yudhishthira sat on the throne, remaining 4 like helping him in all respects. It is in fact Arjuna and Bhima would go and conquer in different countries. Yudhishthira used to stay in kingdom only. He only fought one battle, Kurukshetra battle. All other battles are fought by Bhima and Arjuna only. So it is like that. अच्छा है ना? हाँ. ऋषभ उवाच नायं देहो देहभाजां नृलोके कष्टान् कामान् अर्हते विड्भुजां ये तपो दिव्यं पुत्रकायेन सत्वं शुद्धे यस्मां ब्रह्म सौख्यं त्वनन्तम्.
Lord Rshabhadeva told his sons, "My dear boys, all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form, should not work hard day and night, simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and horses that eat food. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified. And when one attains this position, he attains an eternal, blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever."
Many verses are very strong, very powerful, very straightforward, piercing like an arrow, but very good. Na ayam deho deha bhajam ruloke. Deha bhajam, the embodied soul. Dehi nosmin yata dehe. Dehe bolte na? Same thing. The jiva who is living in the human body should not use his human body for enjoying objects which give suffering. Kastan kaman. Na ayam ruloke deham artate. A human being having gotten birth in the Bharatavarsha, having attained human form, should not desire to enjoy the objects which eventually lead to suffering. What was the verse from chapter 5 in Bhagavad Gita which gives the same meaning? Chapter 5. मतलब
Those who are intelligent do not involve do not involve in the object of the senses,
हाँ.
which gives happiness, which has the happiness.
हैप्पीनेस कहाँ से आ गया?
इसमें beginning and end है.
बिगिनिंग किधर है, हैप्पीनेस किधर है? श्लोक में हैप्पीनेस वर्ड है क्या? कुछ तो 18 चैप्टर का श्लोक निकल के लेके आए उधर से उठा के. In the beginning happiness, later on becomes transforms into misery. एतदग्रे अमृतोपमं परिणामे विषमिवा. जैसे उधर उधर से
The
इधर.
object, the senses and the happiness derived.
हाँ, हैप्पीनेस डिराइव्ड.
Happiness नहीं, the जो भी है.
कहाँ हैप्पीनेस कहाँ से आ गया?
यही संस्कार से लाभ होगा.
हाँ. हाँ.
And then
हाँ.
the wise person do not involve in the
हाँ.
activities
हाँ.
where
Do not perform any activity only. Take sannyas and go to forest.
No, it's continuing.
Huh?
which has beginning and
any
end.
activities
हाँ.
Which has
are where the senses come in contact with the sense objects
Hmm.
and which results in and beginning and
which
Beginning कहाँ से आ गया?
adi antam to
हाँ.
adi
Okay.
and anta.
हाँ.
So which does not have any beginning and adi antam.
Nateshu ramate bhuja.
He does not.
The intelligent people do not take pleasure in those activities, huh? Which have a momentary enjoyment of a beginning and ending. Momentary enjoyment means it has a beginning, it has a ending. Immediately it comes, it goes. From where it comes? By the touch of the sense objects. A samsparshaja bhoga. Samsparsha. Sparsha means touch. Samsparsha means proper touch or complete touch with the sense objects. Bhoga means sense objects. They do not take pleasure in such enjoyment which has beginning and ending. That means they take pleasure in unending enjoyment. That is Brahmananda or Bhagavadananda. Jnanis and yogis take pleasure in Brahmananda, devotees take pleasure in Vaikunthananda. Simple. Here also same thing. Kashtan Kaman, having attained human species, human form in Bharatavarsha, one should not desire such kind of enjoyment which eventually lead to custom, which eventually lead to suffering, and which are available for the pigs very easily. Vidbhujame, which are easily available for the stool eaters. Vidbhuja means the stool eaters. Prabhupada says dog and pig both are eating stool. Dog also eats stool and pig also eats stool. So in that way, basically that eating, sleeping, mating, defending are easily available for these animals. So in that way, oh sons, he should perform austerity for attaining the Lord. Divya tapa. One should perform the severe austerity meant for attaining the Supreme Lord. Not meant to get eternal life like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, ityadi. Not to get immunity from death. Not like that. Divya tapa. Text number 10 of chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita. बताओ, पूरा बताओ. वही है क्या? रुको, वही है क्या? दूसरा और श्लोक है.
check करता.
चेक क्या? अभी वो छोड़ दो उसको. जब तक वो डिवाइस आ गया, ये मेरे काम नहीं कर रहे.
डिवाइस हेल्प कर रहा है.
डिवाइस काम कर रही है बट ये काम नहीं कर रहे. हाँ, ये कंटिन्यू. वो ज्ञान तापस भूता मद्भाव आगता. ज्ञान तपस्या. What was mentioned in the 9th verse? Janma karma cha me devyam evam yo veti tatvatah. Trying to understand about Lord's Janma, Lord's karma in tatvatah, which entails one to go back, come back to Godhead. Does anybody did and went back to Godhead? Next question. Example दिखाना पड़ेगा ना. Vita raga bhaya manmaya ma upashita. Some people having worshipped me, having taken shelter of me, giving up raga, attachment to this material world, bhaya, fear of this material world, or fear of samsara. Krodha, anger towards other philosophies, being indifferent to all the other philosophies. Okay? Bahavo jnana tapasa. They have executed huge austerity of, Bahava means many, executed the austerity of jnana tapasa. What kind of jnana tapasa? Janma karma cha me divyam tatvataha. Jnana tapasya is trying to understand the divya janma and divya karma of the Supreme Lord. That is tapasya. That tapasya one should do. If one does that tapasya, what happens? Puta, one gets purified completely. Purification क्या होगा? Madbhava magata. They will attain my nature and they will come to my abode. जाने का क्या? इधर रहने का सेवासन में? This is the procedure. These two verses will tell the key, reveal the procedure to go back, come back to Godhead. If somebody is interested, you have to follow. That's all. What we have to do? We have to do Jnana Tapasa. For what purpose? What purpose? To know the Divya Janma and Divya Karma of the Supreme Lord. What will happen? One will be purified and will go to spiritual world and attain the nature of the Supreme Lord. सारूप्य मुक्ति मिल जाएगा. सालोक्य सामीप्य सारिष्ट सारूप्य आल सब मिल जाएगा एक ही बार. So it's like that. There Lord Krishna said that by doing jnana tapasya one go to spiritual world. Here Rishabhadeva is telling that the purpose of human life is not to desire those things which lead to custom. Instead, the purpose of human life is meant to perform divya tapasya. Same tapasya. Here divya tapasya and jnana tapasya both are same only. Jnana tapasya for what? Divya janma, divya karma. Divya tapasya is for divya janma, divya karma. Does Bhagavad Gita also teach same or different? Same, no? Thank you. Oh son, a human being should perform austerity for attaining the Lord, by which the heart becomes purified. Puta. The heart becomes purified. Ena Sattvam Shuddhed. Sattvam means, actually Sattvam stands for Chetana. Cheto Darpana Marjam hota hai. But the Chetana is in the heart. Heart gets purified. Heart is purified means Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana, all the four are purified completely. If you take one meaning of Sattvam is Chetana is purified. Other meaning of Sattvam is the heart which is the shelter of Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana. All the four are completely purified. What else we want? And purification के बाद क्या होता है? Which leads to infinite happiness in relation to Supreme Lord. Yasmat Brahma Saukyam tu Anantam. Tu. याद है क्या? Tu मतलब something different. What kind of Brahma Saukyam? Ananta Brahma Saukyam. Did not Adi Antavanta Ramate. Nahi. Adi Antavanta means which has started now and ended immediately. Not like that. Anantam. It will last lifelong. Not lifelong, eternally. किसका लाइफ? हमारा लाइफ नहीं, भगवान का लाइफ. Does that shloka, this shloka both are same? So like that. This itself is the first shloka. Big bouncer. नहीं तो sixer. Bouncer come sixer. So whatever. It was mentioned in the previous chapter that Lord Rsabhadeva gave instructions. In order to establish Bhakti Yoga, Lord Rsabhadeva first says that material enjoyment should not be practiced as the goal in life for a person with a human body. For a person with a human body, material enjoyment is not a goal of life. Canto 1, chapter 2, two shlokas are there on this concept. What are the two shlokas? Canto 1, Chapter 2, 2 slokas. On this concept. Krishna, कहाँ चले गए? धर्मस्य ही अपवर्गस्य ना अर्थो अर्थायोपकल्पते. What's happening? आप लोगों को वापस चालू करना पड़ेगा भागवतम. तैयार है? ओह, इसलिए तैयार मेरे ऊपर डाल दिया. आप लोग तो पढ़ चुके हैं ना. टीचर कौन है मालूम एक कुछ नहीं. स्टूडेंट कौन है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. स्टूडेंट तो सेम ही है ना. धर्म से ही अपवर्ग से नार्थो अर्थायोपकल्प से. हाँ, पढ़ने से वो तो अलग बात है अभी. ओके, एग्जाम में नहीं रहेगा तो हम क्या करेंगे अभी. पढ़ाई तो करना पड़ेगा ना थोड़ा सा. कभी कभी बीच बीच में रिविज करते 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 रहने का. फर्स्ट कैंटो इधर उधर. So these are all very important shlokas. These are all philosophical shlokas. You need to remember. First canto, second chapter में शुरू में first few shlokas में 10, 9. धर्म से ही अपवर्ग से नार्थो अर्थायोपकल्प से नार्थो नार्थ से धर्मे के अंत से कामो लाभ ये स्मृता. We have 4 things. We need to play with the 4 things. That's the thing. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The normal understanding is that you perform dharma, you get artha. With that artha, you fulfill your kama. Once all your kama is over, endeavor for moksha. That is normal varnashram system principle. धर्म से अर्थ, अर्थ से काम, काम होने के बाद अभी मोक्ष, वृद्धाप्य में मोक्ष के लिए प्रयास करने का, ऐसा करके लोग बोलते हैं. बट भागवतम का पूरा उल्टा है. धर्म से ही अपवर्ग से. धर्म शुड बी परफॉर्म्ड फॉर अपवर्ग, नॉट फॉर अर्थ. Are you getting? Normal understanding is dharma for artha. Because only artha will fulfill our kama. When all the desires are completed, that's why jiva comes here ना. कामा को fulfill करने के लिए, उसके लिए bona fide process है. धर्म से अर्थ, अर्थ से कामा, ये 3 होने के बाद अभी मोक्ष वापस जाने का. पर भागवतम से शुरू से ही dharma is not for kama, artha or kama. It is meant for moksha. All dharma one should do, that should be for moksha. Normally people practice dharma for moksha. Devotees should practice Bhagavad dharma for entry into Vaikuntha. So our dharma is Bhagavad dharma, our moksha is Vaikuntha. So like that. Na artha, artho yopakalpate. Dharma is not meant for artha. Dharma should be for moksha, but not for artha. Then, nartasya dayamaikantasya kamo labhai smrutha. For those people, dharmaikantasya, those who dedicated their life to execute such kind of dharma, within the bracket Bhagavad dharma. Dharma ekantasya. Ekanta dharma means Bhagavad dharma. Those who consider their purpose of their life, the goal of their life is ekanta dharma, that is Bhagavad dharma. Kamo labhai smrita. They should never think of kama to be the ultimate goal. Or their goal should be going back to Godhead. Their kama, they should have only one desire to go back to Godhead. What is the verse in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? There should be only one desire. Chapter 9 Bhagavad Gita. Ananya chintayanto mam. योगक्षेम याद है, इसलिए श्लोक याद है, वही चाहिए. अनन्या चिंतयन्ते मम. नो अदर चिंता, ओनली वन चिंता. व्हाट इज दैट चिंता? नित्य अभियुक्तानाम, तेषां नित्य अभियुक्तानाम. वी वांट टू सर्व द लॉर्ड in person in the spiritual world for the rest of eternity. Nitya for the rest of eternity. Abhiyukta in close proximity. Upasate want to serve him. Not serving here and there. Not serving in Mumbai, Tirupati, Hyderabad. In the spiritual world for the rest of eternity. With that in desire, paripasate, they engage themselves manasa vacha karmana సర్వర్తాకిలం చేష్ట. For such a person, Lord says that yoga kshema moham. I will make sure that you will come to spiritual world. Yoga means I will make sure that I will bring you to the spiritual abode. Kshema means I will make sure that you will get the opportunity to serve me in person. That is the meaning of yoga kshema, not LIC. A policy karo will take care of you and will take care of your family also. So it's like that. This meaning given by Chakravarti Pada. Relationship. He says that. Okay. What is the next shloka? 10th shloka. Kamasya na indriya priti. Never ever have a desire to have indriya priti. Kamasya na indriya priti. Never have a desire. That desire. This kama means not lust. Kama means desire. Never ever have a desire of having indriya priti. Labo jivita yavata. As long as your lifespan is there. In your entire lifespan, never have a desire to have indriya priti. The sense of sense enjoyment. Jivasya tattva jignasa. Then what should be the goal of life? Tattva jignasa. Jnana tapasa. Divya tapasa should be the goal of life. Atato Bhagavata tattva vichar. One should have that desire, nothing else. Na artho yacheha karma bhi. Whatever activities you perform, they should not be meant for any other goal. Only one goal. Bhagavata tattva vichar ke liye. और कुछ नहीं. So it's like that. So that is what is being said, Baba. I am not saying anything difficult said and done. Easy to say, but difficult to follow. I need all of your prayers to listen whatever I am speaking properly. So one day I may practice also. One should not have desires which give trouble, such as seeing or touching a woman. Why? These desires are available even in the pig body also. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending are available in all the living entities. If human species also does the same thing, what difference it makes? By enjoying material objects, the human body becomes equal to that of the pig. What was that Mahabharata shloka? In Jewish it is told for everyone. Ahara nidra vayamaitunam cha samanameta dharmo hitesho adhiko vishesho dharme nahina. Dharma means, of course, for anyone dharma, normal varnasana dharma, but for a devotee is Bhagavad dharma. Bhagavad dharme nahina pashubi saman. Because our Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram acharet prajnu. Dharman Bhagavatan iha. Iha means having taken birth in Bharata Varsha, one should practice Bhagavad Dharma from the very beginning. From where? From when? Kaumaram. Kaumaram means 1 to 5 years. First year से चालू करना पड़ेगा भागवत धर्म. लेट नहीं करने का. हाँ? बेटर लेट देन नेवर. सो जितना करना ही पाया उतना उसको भी करना पड़ेगा. अभी क्या करना पड़ेगा, उसका भी करना पड़ेगा. मतलब डबल करना पड़ेगा. अभी
22-23 से स्टार्ट हुआ, वो भी थोड़ा सा.
अभी जो भी बैकलॉग बचा होगा उसको भी क्लियर करने का. अभी आपका अभी का भी करने का. कोशिश से कुछ होता नहीं. What was that verse? 2-3-10. अकामा सर्वकामो वा मोक्षकामो वा उदरदि तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन यजता पुरुषं पर. तीव्र भक्ति करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो इधर ही टुपक जाएगा. So it's like that. These desires are available even in the pig body. By enjoying material objects, the human body becomes equal to that of a pig. One should strive in the human body for what is not available in the pig body. जो पिग बॉडी के लिए अवेलेबल वही करेगा तो क्या फायदा. जो उधर नहीं कर सकते इधर करेगा तो कुछ फायदा. ऐसा करके ऋषभदेव जी ने बोल रहे हैं. डरा रहे क्या?
पहले से पढ़ा है इसलिए कम डर.
See, we have become so indifferent. भागवतम श्लोक है इतना ग्राफिकली बता रहे हैं, फिर भी हमारा अंदर कुछ ये आते नहीं. हाँ ओके ओके हाँ अच्छा है अच्छा है, अच्छा बोल रहे हैं अच्छा बोल रहे हैं ऋषभदेव, बहुत अच्छा बोल रहे हैं. किसके लिए? आप सबके लिए, बोलने वाले के लिए नहीं, सुनने वाले के लिए. That's how many years are passed. Many years will pass also, but nothing goes in. ये इधर से इधर इधर से अंदर जा रहे हैं, इधर से निकल रहे हैं बस, लेकिन यू टर्न कुछ अंदर जाते नहीं. जब अंदर कुछ जाएगा तभी कुछ फायदा होगा. आपको प्रार्थना से कुछ होगा. Austerity, the distinguishing characteristic of human. Tapasya, which kind of tapasya? Divya tapasya, jnana tapasya, tattva vichar tapasya. That is the distinguished quality of human being. However, the trees also perform austerity. They also stand at one place without eating and tolerating the rain and sun. Therefore, such things are excluded by saying that this austerity is related to the Lord. The trees are also performing tapasya, but we don't know for what person they are performing tapasya. They are forced to perform tapasya. But humans are supposed to take voluntary tapasya. Trees have no other option. They cannot make shade of themselves. They have to go through rain and winter and summer. But human beings have to take voluntarily the tapasya. Therefore, such things are excluded by saying that this austerity is related to the Lord. It is spiritual austerity, divya tapasya. O sons, putraka, by this austerity, the antakarana becomes purified. What do you mean by antakarana? They are the byproducts, subproducts of the antakarana. What is the meaning of antakarana? Sanskrit, what do meaning? Up to Sanskrit expert hai. Internal. Karana means senses, antaha means internal. We have 10 bahya karanas, 4 antakaranas. The 5 jnanendriya, 5 karmas are the bahya karanas. They interact with the external world. And 4 antakaranas are they interact with the internal world. That's why. Okay? Antakarana.
What are the four?
Man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana. Mind, intelligence, ego, and consciousness. These are the 4 antakaranas. Internal senses. They are more subtle than the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. Okay? So what is the result of performing divya tapasya onto the Supreme Lord? Bhagavad Dharma. The result is mentioned here. Mahasevam dvaramahor vimuktes tamo dvaram yoshitam sangi sangam mahantasya samachitta prashanta vimanyava suhruda sadhavoye.
One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas.
So how to start the divya tapasya? By taking shelter of Mahatmas, coming in the association of sadhus. Bhajana kriya will begin by sadhu sangha. That is indicated here. It is said that Ahu, service to saintly persons, the cause of 2 types of liberation. Vimukte, Vishesha Rupena Mukti, 2 types of liberation. Whereas association with men who associate with women is the cause of bondage. Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Sangam means we take association. Whose association? Yochitam Sangi. Those who take the association of the women. If we take the association of those men who are constantly associated with women, that is too dangerous. Instead, if we take the association of those people who take the association of Lord's lotus feet, that is the most beneficial. So that is the understanding. Because that leads to Vimukti, this leads to Tamodwaram, this leads to Naraka. This Yochitam Sangi Sangam takes one to Naraka, and Mahaseva takes one to Vaikunta. And also Vimukti, two types of liberations are there. We'll see in the explanation what are the two types of liberations. The impersonalist sees no difference and is peaceful, whereas the devotee has a sincere heart and his intelligence is fixed in me. There are two kinds of liberation are there, na? One kind of Mahatmas are the Brahmavadis. Other kind of Mahatmas are Bhagavanvadis. Okay? There are Mayavadis, there are Brahmavadis, there are Bhagavanvadis. By taking the association of the Brahmavadis, one attains Brahman. By taking the association of Bhagavanvadis, one attains Bhagavan. So, how do you know whether someone is Bhagavanvadi or Brahmavadi? The Brahmavadis are peaceful. Samachitta Prashanta. Okay? And Bhagavanvadis are completely attached to Supreme Lord. Man mana bhava madbhakto madhyaji manamaskuru. That is Bhagavanvadi. Both types of saintly person are devoid of anger, Vimanyava, and friendly to all, Suhruda, and do not see faults in others. They are Sadhava. They are like Uttamadhikaris. Both are Uttamadhikaris. They don't see any faults in others. They treat everyone equally. And they show no envy at others. From the human body, one can gain deliverance or fall down. Both are possible. The cause of both lies in the human body itself. Association, the saintly, the door to liberation of two types. It was mentioned in the previous verse that one attains the infinite happiness of Brahman. Brahmeti, Bhagavaneti, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti, Shabdate. The Brahman has two types, impersonal Brahman and personal Brahman. Impersonal Brahman is Brahmajyoti, personal Brahman is Bhagavan. Thus, the word we indicates a variety of liberation. Merging into Brahman or becoming an associate of the Supreme Lord, both are possible. The first one is Sahajya Mukti, second one is Sarishti, Salokya, Samipya, or Sarupya. Mahanta also means two varieties of saints, the worshippers of impersonal Brahman and the worshippers of Bhagavan. Their differing qualities are described in dual language. Samachitta means one who sees no difference. Impersonalist does not see any difference. And devotee whose heart is sincere. Samachitta means they see everyone equally, and Samachitta, the impersonalists see everyone equally. What is that? Vidya Vinaya Brahmane Sunichaiva Pandita. That Pandita is a Jnani Pandita, not devotee Pandita. The fifth chapter Jnani, fifth chapter Pandita is Jnani Pandita, not devotee Pandita. And here devotee Pandita is whose heart is sincere in service to Supreme Lord.
What is sincere? Devotee is sincere, and that is where the Samachitta.
Samachitta means
he does not have any afflictions towards karma or environment.
not like that. Sama means complete control. Samodamas tapas jaivam shanti rajyavam. Sama means control. Samachitta means the consciousness is completely controlled in meditating on Supreme Lord. Manmana bhava madbhakto bolte hai na? Manmana means what? Means what?
It's in
Fixed in? Fixed in, not board karke bit karne ke?
extreme devotion.
Means what?
Consciousness is flat.
Means what?
Intelligence is
Means what?
always thinking.
Always?
Thinking.
A better word is that?
Thinking of how to serve the Lord.
Not like that. Smaranam. Manmana means smaranam. Its actual meaning is smaranam. Constantly doing the smaranam of Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela of the Supreme Lord. That is the meaning of manmana. Internally within the heart, with one's mind, intelligence, and ego and chetana, one is doing smaranam of the Supreme Lord. Leela smaranam, nama smaranam, guna smaranam. What is the fourth one? Rupa smaranam. That is the understanding. Samachitta means smaranam. The chitta is not at all disturbed. It is completely controlled, peaceful, and simply focused on the smaranam of the Supreme Lord's pastimes, activities, name, form, qualities. That is Samachitta.
A person constantly keeps remembering with his antakarnas, and from the external senses, he keeps working like an normal person.
Working also, not working also. Kosamis are not working anything. Rama Dulgosami would sit on the bank of what is that? Radhakund. And he was meditating. In the meditation, no need to work. So, you should not say meditation also. Meditation again, yoga. It is smaranam. Completely smaranam. Final exam is not Shravanam Kirtanam. It is smaranam only. Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 verse number 5. क्या बोलते हैं? Loudly, char walls should break and sound vibration should go piercing to these walls to the main road and deliver the entire South Mumbai. उनको भी deliverance हो जाएगा ना? This final exam.
अंतकालेषु नामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्
इह प्रयाति समद्भवम्
हाँ
याति न
हाँ
याति नास्तत्र संशयः
तत्र न संशय अत्र न संशय
नास्तत्र
नास्तत्र संशयः
अत्र काले संशय नहीं रखने का हाँ
न अस्ति
हाँ
तत्र संशयः
हाँ what is the meaning of that?
You don't need to have any doubt.
हाँ किसके लिए डाउट नहीं रखने का?
Like if you
Meaning of the
remember-
entire verse.
If you remember it
When
me
we
at the end, at the time of the death. then-
Remember बोला क्या उधर? So remember means
Antakalesha-
smriti. Smriti means remembrance. Smaranam means
Yes.
not just remembrance. It is meditation. Smaranam का equivalent word in English is meditation. Remembrance is different from meditation.
Meditation on the Rupa, Guna,
हाँ
Leela and
संस्कृत पंडित निकल गया है.
जो भगवान ने भी नहीं बोला प्रभु ने सीक्रेट
Yeah, that is true.
Can't listen.
He who does smaranam at the point of death will come to my spiritual abode. Do not have any doubt about this. So what Krishna is telling here? One should do. What one should do at the time of death?
Smarana.
Why he is not telling Kirtanam, Shravanam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam?
Because then they lead to Smarana.
हाँ
वो लाइफ टाइम में करना है प्रभु जी
हाँ
आखिरी में स्मरण करना
हाँ
Not able to do.
हाँ. This is
Not
right.
able to.
At the time of death, on the bed, you can't do other things. आप इतना ही कर सकते हैं. बात भी बोल नहीं सकते. हाथ उठ नहीं सकते, पैर उठ नहीं सकते. क्या करेंगे? क्या वंदनम करेंगे? क्या पाद सेवनम करेंगे? क्या अर्चनम करेंगे? उसमें क्या श्रवणम करेंगे? क्या कीर्तनम करेंगे? बाकी बॉडी लिम्स काम नहीं करेंगे. सिर्फ अंतःकरण काम करेगा. अंतःकरण के अंदर मन बुद्धि अहंकार के सहारा से one should do paranam. Gross body does not function at the time. Only subtle body functions. So with the help of subtle body, one should do smarana. That is the final
Someone
exam.
performs another limb of bhakti at the time of.
हाँ
If someone performs other limb of bhakti at the time
चलेगा
of
पर कर सकते but majority cannot do. It is a general principle. You should need to talk about what can be practical for everyone.
the context in which it is told is with respect to the feasibility that anyone can do.
हाँ
It is not to actually especially elevate one limb of the bhakti over the others. Not
No,
in
no.
that sense.
Actually this is the highest limb. It is the highest limb. 12th chapter में क्या बताया गया भगवद गीता में? प्रभु जी 9th chapter नहीं प्रभु जी 12th chapter 12 8 9 10 11 12 ये 5 श्लोक में क्या बताया गया?
मय्या सक्ता मनः पार्था
हाँ
Yoga Ninjan Madhashya.
Then యథా జ్ఞాసితశృణు
సముద్రం మోసుకుంటే
మయ్యాసక్త మనఃపార్థ యోగం యుంజం మదాశ్రయ. That means offering your mind, intelligence, ego and chetana, you please do smaranam unto me. That is smaranatmika bhakti. That is the topmost bhakti one should come to. मिला क्या?
12.8 మయ్యేవ మనాదస్వ మయి బుద్ధిం నివేశయ.
ఓకే వై కరెక్ట్. మయ్యేవ మనాదస మయి బుద్ధిం నివేశయ నివేశసి మయ్యేవ అత ఊర్ధం నా సంశయ. సేమ్ నా సంశయ. Do not have any doubt. అత ఊర్ధం నివసిస్తే అత ఊర్ధం. You will come to me. You will come to my abode and live along with me. By doing what? మయ్యేవ మనాదస్వ మయి బుద్ధిం నివేశయ. మై ఏవ మన మన్మన మై ఏవ మన మై బుద్ధిం నివేశయ. Employing your mind, intelligence, ego and chetana in me. That means by doing smaranam. The smaranathika bhakti, the topmost form of bhakti. That is ananya bhakti.
And why we actually emphasize more on the kirtan, and in that kirtan also why Sankirtan.
Good question.
Mahaprabhu actually says amongst all the processes that kirtan is.
When Mahaprabhu was traveling, he emphasized on kirtan. When Mahaprabhu was in Gambhira, what he was doing? If you want to know more details, you can go to Jagannath Puri and find out and come back. What he was doing in Gambhir? Canto Yatra chhoddo abhi. What Mahaprabhu was doing in Gambhira, in Jagannath Puri?
Please reconcile both the activities and Mahaprabhu.
जो पूछ रहा हूँ उसका समाधान बताओ. What Mahaprabhu was doing? Was he doing Shravanam? Was he doing Kirtanam? Was he doing Smaranam in Gambhira? Huh?
feeling separation from
Actually, I didn't.
Feeling separation from Prasad 5 baje क्या already?
Krishna.
Krishna in the mode of Radha.
That is Smaranam. Smaranam means he was remembering the past times of the Lord and he himself entering into those past times. And then when he comes out, he is feeling separation. When he is in Smaranam, he is not feeling separation. He is in union. When he comes out to the external manifestation, he is in someone. He is in separation. That is the ultimate form of bhakti. But when he is out of the Gambhira, he is teaching how to do Sankirtan. Shravanam, Kirtanam purifies us so that we come to the platform of Smaranam. We can do Smaranam. Uninterrupted Smaranam. Smaranam also can be interrupted, but we should do uninterrupted Smaranam. In order to come to uninterrupted Smaranam, we need to go through Anartha Nivrutti. Anartha Nivrutti is possible by Shravanam and Kirtanam. And also other process. Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakyam. These are all processes which purify our consciousness. So ultimately, we come to Smaranam. Smaranam is the Shiromani. Topmost activity of bhakti. This is my insignificant understanding of reading Bhagavad Gita. There could be many more. There could be much more.
This dimension of this spirit. ऐसा सुना नहीं.
This is Bhagavad Gita Tata Vichar. No. Yeah, the book is there, but not the same name. That is different. Sadhana Samuchay. Sadhana Samuchay.
Already out, it's going to be released.
Draft is ready. उसको edit करना पड़ेगा, but अभी नहीं. उसको time लगेगा और थोड़ा 2-3 साल के बाद. जो भी है. This is Gita Tata Vichar. हाँ?
ऐसा सुना नहीं है. This
मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना.
this is
ये मेरा वर्षन है.
Yeah, I said it.
This is all from Sri Lavishan Thakur's commentary. Reconciling Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam both combined together. I mean, we are not saying something different. ना भगवत गीता में है अंत काले च मामेव स्मरण मुक्त्वा कलेवरम बोला, कीर्तन मुक्त्वा नहीं, श्रवण मुक्त कर नहीं, अर्चन मुक्त्वा नहीं, पादसेवन मुक्त्वा नहीं, वंदन मुक्त्वा नहीं, स्मरण मुक्त्वा बताया था.
No, in which context we actually distinguish there are different kinds of Kirtans, there are 4 kinds of Kirtans.
हाँ वही है ना, स्मरण भी वही 4 है ना, नाम कीर्तन गुण कीर्तन लय कीर्तन. जब कीर्तन करेगा तो स्मरण करेंगे ना. श्रवणम कीर्तनम, श्रवण करेगा तो कीर्तन करेंगे, श्रवणम कीर्तन करेगा तो स्मरण करेंगे. जो हम श्रवणम कर रहे हैं वही कीर्तन करेंगे, वही स्मरण भी करेंगे. श्रवण कीर्तन के बिना स्मरण कैसे करेंगे?
In that whole topic, culmination comes in the form that Kirtanam is the topmost of all the limbs. And among the Kirtanam, okay,
नाम कीर्तन the topmost.
Nam Kirtanam,
That is to practice.
okay, that
In order to practice,
that is the
through
best medium to
the life is meant for practice.
And
Life should
Smaranam
start
is-
with Shravanam. Life should start with Shravanam. It should continue with Kirtanam. End with Smaranam. Shravanam at the initial 10%. Smaranam last 10%. In between 80% is Kirtanam.
And also Smaranam is actually pervaded in all the Angas also.
It is pervaded, but we can't do it. Right now we are discussing. I am speaking, you are hearing. Your hearing is Shravanam. My speaking and hearing is Mera Shravanam bhi, Mera Kirtanam bhi hai. But are we really doing some Smaranam? Exclusive Smaranam we are not doing. But we should come to that platform of exclusive Smaranam. So it's like that. For that both training required. श्रवणम कर सकते, कीर्तन करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, स्मरण करना बहुत मुश्किल है. उसके लिए we need to go through lifetime practice. वहां तक आने के लिए ज्यादा प्यूरिफिकेशन चाहिए, और इसके लिए बाकी सब चीज भी हेल्प करते हैं. अर्चनम, वंदनम, दास्यम, all these things help us to come to that platform of smaranam. Smaranam is bhava bhakti and raya bhakti. Kirtanam is Shravanam and Kirtanam is bhajana kriya. Getting? Smaranam is only possible at the level of bhava. Before that is not possible. At least आसक्ति से धीरे धीरे मैनिफेस्ट होता है. आसक्ति के पहले स्मरणम नहीं होता है.
So here in the context of Smaranam, we are saying it is Guna, Nama, Guna, Rupa.
वही स्मरण मतलब वही होता है, वही स्मरण करने का.
When
श्रवणम भी वही है, कीर्तनम भी वही है, स्मरणम भी वही है, बट स्मरणम नहीं होता है अभी. स्मरणम वही उधर ही आसक्ति प्लेटफॉर्म से ही चालू होता है.
So when we say Smaranam, so this is uninterrupted Smaranam. Yes.
नो उसका अगला श्लोक पढ़ो.
Means आप हर बार
वेट, आप प्रश्न पूछा उसका.
Arachittam samadhatum, Nashakam Samastharam, Abhyasa Devatam, Mahavichatam.
What was the first word?
Atachittam samadhatum.
Atachittam samadhatum. If your chitta, that means man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana are not able to do uninterrupted smaranam. Atachittam samadhatum. Sama means vijayasana samachitta. Samachitta means atachitta. Atachitta samachittam same. If your chitta means man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana are not able to do continuous uninterrupted smaranam, take the shelter of Abhyasa Yoga. That means if your mind and intelligence are wanting here and there, bring them. You are able to do 1 hour, half an hour smaranam, then mind is going here and there, bring them. Do another half an hour, bring them. Again do another half an hour. Like that, the time they are going away should reduce. That is called Abhyasa Rupa Bhakti. Increasing from 1% of smaranam to 99% of smaranam. When you enter into 100% smaranam, it is called the first verse, before verse. Mayi arpita mana buddhi, mayi mana adasva, mayi buddhi niveshaya. That is 100% smaranam. If you are not able to do 100% smaranam, do at least abhyasa. Make an endeavor to come to 100%. If you can't do that, making an endeavor to come to 100% is bhava bhakti. Doing 100% smaranam is prema bhakti. Bhava bhakti starts manifesting at the end of asakti. If you are not able to do bhava bhakti, then practice Vedi sadhana bhakti, which will bring from Adha Shuddha to Nishta Ruchi Asakti platform. What is the next verse?
अभ्यास एकस्मस्तोऽसि मत्कर्म कर्म बला मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सत्यम् अवाप्स्यसि.
If you are not able to Abhyasa Rupa Bhakti, then perform Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. What is the meaning of Vedi Sadhana Bhakti? Mat Karma Krut, Mat Paramo.
मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि.
Madartham Api Karma. Perform all the karmas for my sake. Yat Karoti Yadashnashi. Next. Yat Tapashasi Kaunteya. Tat Kurushva Madarpanam. Here Madarpanam is there, there also Madarpanam. That is Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. Perform Vedi Sadhana Bhakti means what? Rishikesha, Rishikena Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchate. Vedi Sadhana Bhakti means employing all our senses in service of Supreme Lord. Mat Karma Krut, Mat Paramo, Nirvaira Sangha Varjita. This is Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. If you can't even do Vedi Sadhana Bhakti, at least practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, which will take you to Jnana Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga, then will enable you to get Sahaja Mukti. Next verse. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga.
अतेदपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मदोऽयम् आश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथार्थम्.
Madhya Yoga means Nishkama Karma Yoga. How to do that? Karma Phala. Tyaga. Karma Phala Tyaga. Perform the activity, offer the results in service of Lord and society. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay.
इसका बार-बार श्लोक में बता सकते हैं.
That is summary of all these things. This chapter itself is summary of what Krishna spoke in the previous 11 chapters. The next verse is summary. You have to read the first line. No, one line only. One line is the gradation of bhakti. Second line is the gradation of regular yoga system. Shreyoyi jnanam abhyasat jnana dhyanam vishishate. In comparison to Vedi sadhana bhakti, Abhyasa Rupa Bhakti is better.
So these are nothing to do with the previous verses.
No. Whatever previous verses, everything is summarized in one verse.
Okay.
In previous verse, it is said that the Smaranatmika Bhakti is the best. The next one is Maranatmika Bhakti. My Buddhi Niveshati is called Maranatmika Bhakti. Smaranam first. Next one is Maranam. If you go on to these two, at least do Abhyasa Rupa. If you go on to Abhyasa Rupa, you do Vedi Sadhana. In comparison to Vedi Sadhana, Abhyasa Rupa is best. In comparison to Abhyasa Rupa, Maranatmika is the best. In comparison to Maranatmika, Smaranatmika is the best.
So when we are saying Smaranatmika is prema,
Dhyana means
Maranatmika is bhava, and Abhyasa yoga is
Maranatmika, Smaranatmika, both are prema only. In the prema only, different levels. Okay. And, superior and inferior.
And what is
the Abhyasa Rupa is bhava. Okay, Vedi Sadhana is Ado Shraddha to Asakti. This is the gradation.
Abhyasa yoga is basically the 9 limbs of devotion.
Maranatmika.
Dhyana
means Maranatmika. Jnana means Maranatmika. Abhyasa Rupa is Abhyasa Rupa. And unspokenly that Vedi Sadhana is indicated. Now next line you read.
First line is Shreyoyi Jnanam Abhyasa.
Next line. Oh, ho gaya. First line is about Bhakti. Bhakti ka comparison. Second line.
What does it mean? If you cannot take this,
don't read the translation.
Okay.
Second line means second line of the shloka.
Dhyanam vishishate.
Second line, Prabhu. Third pada.
Dhyanat karma paratyagas. Tyagas shantir anantari. Dhyanat karma paratyagas.
Tyagat.
Tyagas shantir anantari.
Then the next one is the normal yoga ladder. If you execute Nishkama Karma Yoga, okay, Dhyanat Karma Phala Tyagat. Instead of meditating, Dhyana refers to here, Dhyana stands for instead of meditating on enjoying the sense objects, normal Sakama Karma Yoga or materialist sense gratification thoughts. Jayato Vishya Pumja Sangha Teshu Bajate Sangha Sanjayate Kama Kamat Grotha Bijate Korat Bhavat Samoha Samoha Prithvi Vamsha Dinasha Buddhinasha Pranashati. That Dhyayat stands for Pranashati. Instead of doing Dhyan and sense gratification, If you meditate on the karma phala tyaga, that is Nishkama Karma Yoga. That will lead to Jnana Yoga. That will lead to Ashtanga Yoga. That will lead to liberation. Shanti means Sahyajya Mukti. That will give one Sahyajya Mukti. The first line take one to Vaikuntha. The second line we take one to Kape, Brahman. This is the end result of what was spoken till now in the Bhagavad Gita. Translation पढ़ो मत, वो translation अलग रहते पूरा अलग है. That Prabhupada translations are as per the today's context. How to apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in today's context. Prabhupada takes one step ahead. The previous sloka, which we mentioned about Nishkama Karma Yoga, Prabhupada said that there are philanthropic activities. If you can't do bhakti, at least do philanthropic activities. And Mad Yogam, Mad Karma Krut, Prabhupada said that is Nishkama Karma Yoga. उसके ऊपर अभ्यास रुपए इधर ना Prabhupada said that is sadhana bhakti. And उसके ऊपर Prabhupada says bhakti, pure devotional service. Prabhupada does not get into technical things. The common man outside does not understand all these things. So in that way, Prabhupada goes one step, he comes one step downward actually. So in that way. And the last verse, Prabhupada analyzes in terms of Dhyana means Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana means Jnana Yoga, Karma Phala Tyaga means Nishkama Karma Yoga. So like that, Prabhupada explains. You read the translation of the last verse, 12th verse.
You cannot take to this practice and engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation.
The Ashtanga Yoga.
Better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action.
Nishkama Karma Yoga. So like that.
But ideally, the ladder is.
It's okay. See, Prabhupada is not getting into a ladder and all. Ladder and all our Bhakti Shastri log banaya. Prabhupada का teaching में किधर ladder नहीं. Prabhupada का commentary में किधर ladder नहीं. So it's like that. Thoroughly confused, na? Thoroughly confused, na? Gita Tattva Vichar. You are able to follow?
Yes, yes.
Some new terminology, everything is here and there. उधर इधर से घुमा के लेके है.
Yes.
Sorry, I am a crazy person. I am also disturbing you. Sorry. Prashanta means one who is peaceful and devotee. All of you are Prashanta and peaceful and devotees. Whose intelligence is fixed in the Supreme Lord. Make crazy aplo Prashanta. Samo Mannishta Buddhe. Sama means intelligence fixed in me. This is from 11th canto, Uddhav Gita. Sama means Mannishta Buddhi. Sama Chitta means Mannishta Buddhi. So, intelligence fixed in me. Vimanyava, Suhruda and Sadhava have the same meaning for the impersonalist and the devotee also. Sadhava means those who do not see faults in others. Who is Sadhu? Are you Sadhu? Are you Sadhu? Are you Sadhu? Are you Sadhu? No, Baba. Topmost are Sadhu. So, it's like that. Sadhu, Sadhutara, Sadhuttama, Sadhu, Ati Mahatama, Ati Uttama. They are the four gradations. Asadu, Asadutara, Asadutama, Ati Asaduttama. They are the four, this side, four that side. Sadhu, Asadu. So these are the 8 categories. Okay? We will have a short break and we continue. बहुत तत्व विचार हो गया. Hare Krishna. What is your question?
The first 50 years of Lord Brahma, there was no much of Visarga.
No, Visarga happens every day of Brahma. But Bhagavatam describes what happened today. Why do you want to know what happened yesterday? What was so important? What is so important about it? What creation happened today is important. क्या चल रहा है आज का दिन में वो important है.
So whatever the descriptions has been.
Whatever description has come in the 3rd canto, it's all what happened today. whatever description has come in the second canto, what happened the first day of Brahma, very first day of Brahma, when Brahma appeared. So in between kya hua, it's okay, same thing repeated.
Because it was given that the humans were also actually taken birth in the 51st year. But it was not
Every day humans are taking birth. Why only 51st year? Every day they are taking birth,
Okay.
and every day they are dying. एवामैषे कृतसंहृदार्ता जनेषु देहाम्बरवार्तिकेषु गुरुषु जायात्मजरातिमस्तु न प्रीतियुक्ता यावदर्थाश्च लोके.
Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and depending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together.
Prabhupada is very strong in the purports. You read, na? Both date. The devotees have made their goal of life affection for me. Maya krita sahruda artha. Artha means goal of life. The devotees made the goal of their life is me, serving me and attaining me, the goal of their life. What Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 text number 7, 5-6 के बाद text number 7 आता है ना, उसमें क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ, then what one should at all point of time? Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara mam shravanam or mam kirtanam? Mam smaranam. Okay? Mam anusmara yuddhacha. How to do smaranam? Maya arpita manobuddhi. Offer your mind and intelligence unto me, which includes man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana, all the four. एक लाइन में 4 नहीं आएगा, 2 बोला. Okay? The result is Mam eva eshasi asamshaya. My dear Arjun, do not have any doubt. You will definitely come to me if you do this. This is the most important shloka of Bhagavad Gita. What is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Nahi, this one. Maya arpita manobuddhir. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. No elaboration. Read Bhagavad Gita. You will have elaboration there. इतना बार elaborate करना पड़ता है. The devotees have made their goal of life affection for me.
That becomes yes. In which context that becomes?
That is basically abhidaya. How to execute our bhakti. Abhidaya is continuously we should perform everything as a service to Supreme Lord. Yat karoshi yadashnashe yajyosh tadashe tattapasya kauntaya tatkurushva madarpanam. Do everything as an offering to Supreme Lord, a service to Supreme Lord. How? Offering one's mind and intelligence unto Supreme Lord. That means do something and think something else, not like that.
Yeah, that is also abhidaya.
That is also there. But their principle is mentioned. Here details are there. What to do? It is clearly mentioned. When to do? मनमाना बाबा तो कब करने का? आज सुबह किया था, हो गया, कल सुबह करेंगे वापस, बाद में नेक्स्ट मंडे करेंगे. But here it is very clear. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu. Not once in a week, once in a day.
Abhidaya is this prayojana.
This is abhidaya. The last line, last part is prayojana, but remaining 3 lines are abhidaya only. Manmana bhavakta also first 2 lines abhidaya. The last line is prayojana. What was the last line?
You letting me without that.
English nahi baba, Sanskrit. No English. हाँ. Pratijane priyosme. That is 18th verse, 18th chapter. There also, Mama eva yeshasi, satyante, pratijane. I am taking a vow. I am making a vow that very true. You will come to me. Pratijane priyosme, because you are dear to me. 19th chapter ka shloka. Mam eva ishasi yuktvayanam. Yukta means you will become one of my eternal associate. Where? In my abode. Having come to my abode, you will become my eternal abode. Atmanam matparayanam. Because you have accepted me as your Atma and engaged in my parayana, in my service. So like that. Sorry प्रभु जी, यार बड़ा बड़ा बात बोल रहे हैं आज. आप नहीं, मैं क्षमा चाहता हूँ. बोलते बट कुछ करते नहीं. The devotees have made their goal of life affection for me. Who is he? The Lord. And do not show affection for persons who enjoy. And do not show affection for persons who enjoy. Who talks about people attached to eating and drinking. Deha ambara vartikeshu. The devotees make their goal affection for me, and they don't have affection for those people who are only interested in the material enjoyment and who are simply attached to eating and drinking, and who have houses, who have wives, who have sons, and who have wealth. That means having is not a problem, but having attachment to these things is a problem. Gruheshu jaya atmaja ratimshu ratimastu. So in that way, they remain in their houses simply to spend their money on glorifying the Lord. The devotees stay in their respective houses, simply spend whatever they have in glorification of the Supreme Lord, either by organizing a weekly program or by performing a deity Abhishek or by preparing Chapanbhog, whatever it means. So they employ everything in the service of Supreme Lord. But others, they employ everything for the purpose of enjoying. So this is the comparison between devotees and non-devotees. The external qualities of the second type of persons are described. First type is of impersonal Brahmavadis. Second type are Bhagavanvadis. Their glories are mentioned here. The devotees have their goal, Priti for me. They do not consider anything else as the goal of life. Sri says that Va indicates that the devotee is indifferent to everything else. Devotee might be having everything else. They might be having all these things. What they have? They will have house, they will have wives, they will have sons, they will have wealth, but they are indifferent to everything else. They are not attached to those who enjoy living or discussing with persons attached to maintaining the body, with eating and drinking, who have houses with wives, children, and wealth. So one question may be there. Many times you ask, do you mean that devotees should not have family members? Devotees will have family members. They treat the family members as other devotees. They don't treat them as object of enjoyment. So in that way, that is the difference. Why do the devotees remain in their houses? Since they can perform bhakti, such as serving the Lord's lotus feet, deity worship, which requires wealth. By that wealth that they possess in family life, they remain in their houses. In order to deity worship, they need some facilities. If the household can afford those facilities, they stay home and perform all the deity worship in home, lavishly. For that reason only they stay in the houses. Otherwise, they are happy in the forest also. Since they have the family heritage, a lot of family facilities are there, they employ everything in the service of Supreme Lord. They are using it for service of the Supreme Lord, not for selfish enjoyment. So like that. This is the mentality of the devotees. Otherwise, what happens? Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yadindriya pritaya apranoti na sadhu manne yatatmanoyam asam apikleshada asadeha.
When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies and after.
What happens to others? The inattentive jiva, who is not pramatta. I am pramatta atmana. The inattentive jiva becomes absorbed in actions for pleasure of the senses and thus engages in sin, by which he receives another body which gives suffering, kleshada, asadeha, and which actually does not belong to the jiva at all. I do not consider such actions are proper. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. Those who are very much interested in performing vikarma. What is vikarma? Viruddha rupena karma. Karma is the prescribed means of the Vedas. Vikarma is going against the teachings of the Vedas. That is vikarma, performing sinful activities, non-religious activities. And they are very much attentive to perform those vikarma, sinful activities. What happens to those kind of people? Becomes absorbed in actions for pleasing the sense, for the pleasure of the senses, and thus engages in sin, kurute vikarma, by which they receive another body. Eventually, they get another body, animal body, human body, whatever, which only gives suffering. जो अभी पाप किया उसका रिजल्ट सफरिंग मिल जाएगा, and which actually does not belong to the jiva at all. For the pure jiva, all these things are all foreign things. Pure jiva is supposed to be always experiencing ananda, anandamayo abhyasat, sachidananda swarupa, but here continuously suffering only because of vikarma. So I do not consider such kind of vikarma activities are proper. One should never make an endeavor to perform vikarma. Instead, always perform Bhagavad Dharma. So like that. He already stated that those persons who are attached to women will fall down. Mas sevan dwaram ahurumuktes tamo dwaram yoshitam sangi sangam. Now elaborating that. He illustrates this and laments for those persons. When a person acts for sense pleasure, he engages himself in sinful activities like enjoying others' wives. Unrestricted sense pleasure leads to sinful activities. Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. Even Lord says that if the kama is fulfilled according to dharma, that is okay. But it's going beyond dharma, then it becomes a dharma. Because of previous sins, one attains the present body, which only gives suffering. With this body, one again performs sinful activities. I do not consider this kind of mentality is proper. This body does not actually belong to jiva. The sinful body does not belong to jiva. Jiva does not deserve to have a sinful, a miserable body. Jiva deserves to have a happy body. But because of our sinful activities, we are only providing sinful body to the sinful, miserable body to the jiva. The Shruti says that Asangohi I am Purusha. The jiva is not associated with the material body. The jiva actually do not possess any material body. What to speak of happy body. But he ends up with miserable, sinful body. That is not at all proper for the jiva. So, I am suffering, you are suffering, everyone is suffering. And we are trying to make best use of the bad bargain. That is the only hope. Otherwise, what happens? If you don't do best use of the bad bargain, what happens? This is what happens. Parabhavasthavadabodhajato yavanna jignasaya tatmatattvam yavat kriyasthavadidam mano vai karmatmakam yena sharira bandha.
As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear. And as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material life.
As long as Jiva does not inquire into the Atma, Jivasya Tattva Jignasa. Human life is meant for Tattva Jignasa, not other things. As long as Jiva does not inquire into the Atma, Atato Brahma Jignasa, Atma Tattvam, he remains in bondage created by ignorance. As long as one performs pious or sinful activities, the mind remains absorbed in action. To perform more and more pious activities, more and more sinful activities. Yamimam Pushpitam Vacha Pravadante Pachita Vedavad Radha Partha Nanyata Vadina Kamatmana Sargapara Kriya Vishesha Baulam Bogeshwara Gati Prati. So they only want to do the same thing. Go to Swarga, enjoy, come back again, perform rituals, again go to Swarga, enjoy, come to Upanichil. By this, the bondage to repeated bodies continues, either pious way or impious way. Impious people go to Naraka, go through punishment, again come back and take birth. Human man perform again sinful activities, again go to Naraka and come back. और नीचे ऊपर नीचे चलता रहता है. Pious people ऊपर से इधर ऊपर चलता रहता है. So like that. तेता मुक्तो सर्वलोकम शरम क्षिण्य पुण्य मर्त्यलोकम विशन्ति. एवं त्रयी धर्म मनु प्रपन्न गता गतम काम काम लभन्ते. त्रयी धर्म मनु प्रपन्न. They again performs धर्मार्थ काम, again perform अर्थ धर्मार्थ काम like that. वो चलता रहता है. मोक्ष के बारे में सोचते हैं. So like that. Then one should perform pious activities. The previous verse talks about vikarma. Then one may question, if vikarma is putting a person in trouble, then perform pious activities. Kya problem hai? Lord says that since pious acts are also a cause of samsara and thus causes suffering, one should engage in jnana, which destroys sin and piety. One should engage in atma tattva, not in piety or impiety. Dependence on karma or bondage of the jiva is produced from ignorance. This remains as long as one does not inquire about the Atma. As long as one does not inquire into Atma, one continues to perform either Sakama Karma or Vikarma. Till then, one can never start Nishkama Karma. In order to start Nishkama Karma Yoga, one need to have Atma Jnana. Without Atma Jnana, one can never ever practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks about Atma Yoga, Atma Jnana in the beginning. After giving a brief summary of what is going to speak in the later part of Bhagavad Gita from verse number 11 to 15, then immediately last Krishna talks about Atma Jnana, the characteristics of the Atma from verse number 16 to 30. Then he speaks about Sakama Karma, 31 to 38. Then Krishna speaks about Bhakti Yoga and also Nishkama Karma Yoga, which will lead to Jnana, Ashtanga and liberation. So it's like that. Jnanagnina sarva karmani basmatat kurute Arjuna. O Arjuna, the fire of knowledge burns all karmas to ashes. As long as knowledge does not exist, karmas are not destroyed. Unless until one performs Nishkama Karma Yoga, one is not qualified to enter into renounced order and practice Jnana Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga entails one to purify one's mental desires within the core of the heart. Then one develops desire to take to Vanaprastha order or Sannyas order so that one can practice Jnana 24/7. So it's like that. As long as pious and sinful acts remain, the mind will remain absorbed in action because because of the mind absorbed in actions, bondage to bodies continues. Gata gatam kama kama labante. वो चलता रहता है, whether pious or impious, वो continuously चलता रहता है. Then how to come out? What is the reason for perpetual bondage and how to come out? Evam manakarma vasham prayunkte avidyayatmani avidyayatmani upadiyamane प्रीतिर्नयावन् मयि वासुदेवे न मुञ्चते देहयोगेन तावत्.
When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, it does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being, and his mind is subjugated to future activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again.
Thus, karmas, both pious or sinful, make the mind fixed upon the future action. That means leads to repeated birth in this material world. Since Jiva is engaged in action by ignorance, having accepted a subtle body, as long as he does not have devotion for me, Lord Vasudeva, he will not be liberated from the material body. Both pious karmas and impious karmas bind one by providing repeated bodies in this material world. But how to come out of this cycle? By having devotion unto me, unto Lord Vasudeva. Yavanna priti mai Vasudeve. Till the time the bhakti does not develop unto one will be continued to take birth in this material world. Yavad ragadayastena. Yavat kara gruham gruham. Yavat mohongra nigado. Tavat Krishna jananate. Till the time one does not become Krishna jana, a devotee of Lord Krishna, an associate of Lord Krishna, till then, what was the first line? Yavad ragadayastena. Till then, all our desires will take away the vital energy from us. Yavad ragadayastena. Tena means thieves. All our material desires steal away our energy, our time, our vitality. And kara gruham gruham. One's home becomes karagar. Because living in the home, one is trying to enjoy the household facilities. So that becomes like karagraha. And mohongra nikado. One is subjected to illusion in this material world, thinking that I am this, I am that, I am ISRO scientist, I am IAC engineer, I am this, I am that. So like that. Till the time we don't become Krishna Jana, we are born in this material world. So like that. How does the mind become absorbed in action? Ancient or recent karmas make the mind fixed in action. One karma develops attachment to other karma, like that. In this way, the mind becomes absorbed in action only, perpetual action. One becomes absorbed in that object upon which one depends. Because these people having enjoyment by executing activities only. So, uske upar prati attachment develop hota hai. However, the actions of the liberated soul are executed for this analysis. While the jiva is engaged by ignorance with a covering of the subtle body, he will remain with a material gross body as long as bhakti, which uproots all the karmas, does not appear. As long as we does not take shelter of bhakti, our subtle body keeps us under illusion, and we are only interested in getting newer and newer gross bodies to enjoy newer and newer flavors in this material world. External enjoyment. The solution is to go towards internal enjoyment. Then one can be freed from the external bondage. So like that. So like that, Lord Rsabhadeva is telling that how to come out of, what is the purpose of human life? And if you don't take it seriously, what happens? And how to come out of that bondage condition. So what is the solution? at least practice Bhakti Mishra Jnana. As a householder, practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, which will give qualification to practice Bhakti Mishra Jnana in the Vanaprastha or Sannyas order. At the first level, at least practice Bhakti Mishra Jnana. Bhakti Mishra Jnana means Jnana Yoga. Practice Jnana with little bit Bhakti in it. So that Bhakti will take you properly to upwards and award you Sahajya Mukti. Yada na pashyati ayata guneham swarte pramatta sahasa vipashit gata smrutir vindati tatra tapan asadya maitunyamaraga manja ajna. Please read.
Even though one may be very learned and wise, he is mad if he does not understand that the endeavor for self gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering his interests around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish man.
Here Lord says that when the wise man does not see that desire for sense objects is useless. What was the verse? Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter. Ei samsparshija bhoga dukkha yona evate adi antavanta nateshu ramate buddha. One does not understand that person is fool. When the wise man does not see that desire for sense objects is useless, he becomes a fool. And suddenly forgetting his true nature, he attains a house meant for sexual pleasure and experiences extreme suffering. Adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Freedom from karmas takes place at the mature stage of jnana mixed with bhakti, not at the immature stage. When even the wise man does not see desire for sense objects such as sound as useless. Sound means all the 5 tanmatras. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. He suddenly loses his memory and experiences great pain after attaining the house meant for sexual pleasure. When even a wise man is knowledgeable but not yet realized, but still does not see desire for sense objects such as sound are useless. He may be externally called as a wise man, but he does not understand that desire for experiencing 5 tanmatras is useless. Instead, makes an endeavor to enjoy the 5 tanmatras. Such person suddenly loses his memory of Shastra and experiences great pain after attaining the house meant for sexual pleasure. He enters into the place, avenue where one can enjoy 5 tanmatras, and after enjoying them, he eventually gets pain only. So in that way, he is a so-called wise person, but not really understood, but developed a desire for sense objects, entered into household order, enjoy the sense objects, eventually ends up with pleasure, pain.
So this is referring to karma.
Sakama karma. He studied the Vedas in Gurukul. After coming home, after getting married, he should have practiced Nishkama Karma Yoga, which leads one to Brahmasokyam Anantam. Instead, he practices Sakama Karma, enjoying the sense objects, which will lead to misery. So, Dukkha Yone Evate. The sense gratification eventually gives rise to Dukkha only. So, in that way. Another version as Yada Anupashyanti. When the wise man sees the actions of the senses falsely, thinking the actions to be is alone, he suddenly loses his memory of his true self. When a wise man, after studies, he sees Sakama Karma activities are the best form of activities. Then he performs them. So as soon as he understands, he thinks that these are the best activities, he loses his memory of what is good, what is not good. Then he's convinced this is only should be done. Yamimam Pushutam Vacha Pravadante Vipachita Vedavad Rata Partha Na anyat asti iti vadina. They say that nothing else Vedas talk about other than karma yoga, not karma yoga, sakama karma only. And they said this is the only thing Vedas are talking. This is the only thing should be done. Nothing else. Kuch nahi. Na anyat asti iti vadina. There is nothing else. So like that. So what is not the qualification for practicing Bhakti Mishra Jnana is mentioned here. Then how to get into Bhakti Mishra Jnana? By practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, not Sakama Karma. Sakama Karma eventually leads to misery only. But Nishkama Karma Yoga leads to qualification to practice Bhakti Mishra Jnana. Let us see what Lord says. Pumshasriyamai tunibhavametam tayormito hrudaya ganti maho ato gruhakshetra sutapta vrittir janasya moho yamaham mameti. What happens after entering into household? That is mentioned here. The relationship between the man and woman after marriage, after Gurukula studies, when he comes back home and when he gets married, it is called double bondage. Mito Hruday Granthi. Mito means double. It is double bondage. Why? The woman also has attachment, man also has attachment. Both have attachment for each other. Even if one is trying to get detached, other one will inspire to get attached. That's why it's double bondage. This creates illusion for the jiva in relation to house, property, sons, relatives, and wealth. Because when a wife comes, there is a need of house. There is a need of maintaining, increasing the property. The children will come, relatives will come, wealth will come. All these things will follow the wife. When wife is not there, all the other things are not there. What was the verse from Parikshit Maharaj? This 4th chapter of the 2nd canto. Atmajaya Sutagara Pashu Dravina Bandhushu Rajya Chavikala Nityam Virudam Mahajayot. They are like deep-rooted roots, all these 8 things. But Parikshit Maharaj very easily uprooted them and kept it aside. Atma, the body. Jaya, the wife. Suta, children. Agara, house. Atma, Jaya, Suta, Agara. Pashu, the animals. Dravina, the wealth, property. Bandhushu, the relatives. Rajya, job. Once, because since it is Parikshit Maharaj, his job is duty as a king. He has a kingdom. For us, whatever job we may have to do. So all these things. They are deep-rooted things, very difficult to uproot. Viruda means deep-rooted. Visheshurupena, roots are there. But Parikshit Maharaj very easily uprooted them. So, like, same thing here. So, the marriage creates illusion for the jiva in relation to house, property, sons, relatives, and wealth, in which he thinks, I am this is mine. I am the husband of this house. I am the master of this house. This is my wife. These are my children. This is my property. This is my house. So like that one is bound in this. See, try to understand. We are discussing about Sakama Karma mentality. We are not discussing about having house is completely wrong. If someone enters into the house, old order, with the Sakama Karma mentality, then one is bound. He only thinks this is mine, this is mine, this is meant for my enjoyment, I am the Lord and Master and controller, and then everything goes on like that. That keeps one bondage. But one can definitely enter into gross order with Nishkama Karma Yoga mentality. That is safe and well and good. If one enters into household order with Bhakti mentality, that is the best thing one can think of. What is that Bhakti Grostha mentality? Yat karoshi yadashnashi yadjosh sadashyat yatapash kauntaya tatkurusha madarpanam. Do everything as an offering to Supreme Lord. That's all. That is Bhakti mentality. In the when one identifies the actions of one's senses with oneself, the illusion arising from association with family members is greater than anything else. What is the meaning of this? When one identifies the actions of one's senses with oneself. What is the shloka in Bhagavad Gita? 3rd chapter, I suppose. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. Ahankara vidumodatma. Whatever activities are done by the byproducts of the Prakriti, the body, mind, intelligence, gross senses, subtle senses, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, the Vimuda, Ahankari and Vimuda thinks that Kartaham, I am the doer. But actually, all the activities are done by the body and senses. So, same thing here. When one identifies the activities of the senses with oneself, thinking that I am the doer, I am doing all these activities, the illusion arising from association with the family members is greater than anything else. Such kind of illusion is topmost illusion. There is no way out. For example, I'll give you the same thing. There is a house. In the house, there are so many family members. Everyone is doing their part of activity in the family. A big activity is accomplished. At the end, if the owner, the elder person, the Yajaman of the house, they say that I only have done all these activities. I alone have done all these activities. Means what? अरे बाबा वो सब काम किया, उन सबका योगदान भी है. They also put their hard and efforts. आप कैसे बोल सकते हैं मैं अकेला किया? Because I am the Yajaman. So I only whatever they do, it is unto me only, unto my credit. That is the biggest form of illusion. Two knots are tied between husband and wife. One knot is this is my wife. On this knot, the second knot is tied. This is my husband. He is telling this is my wife, and she is telling you are my husband. There is a double knot. Though the man may desire to give up relationships, the wife will not give him up. This is the depth of the knot. At one point of time, the husband may become renounced. So, बहुत हो गया. Let me go to वानप्रस्थ order. Let me take sannyas. The wife says, अभी तक पूरा responsibility खत्म नहीं हुआ. रुको और एक साल. हाँ? मतलब? Loud. कुछ है क्या नहीं? If it is controversial, don't say. Huh?
Wife is desiring to give up relationship.
Now, from Vedic point of view, that reason to give up relationship may be on the material platform, but we are discussing this from the renunciation to go to forest and practice Vanaprastha order, etc., etc. From that point of view, the knot tied between.
Now the responsibilities are what? For example,
Ah.
the wife should agree, even at that point of time, in
Ah.
fact, the wife should understand that both are cultured people and they should give up. The wife should allow husband to take into one person.
When there is a desire to prolong the family enjoyment, then no one will allow. If the mentality is to continue the prolonged type of prolonged enjoyment, then no one will allow. कैसे बोल सकते? नहीं. It's not that easy. Of course, from our side, we can also think of when some of us want to join Brahmacharya ashram, does the parents accept it immediately? Of course, there are so many positive reasons also, there are some negative reasons also there. Did they agree easily? For some, it may be parents are already devotees, they may agree, but otherwise, in general, they don't agree. Because for them, they think that, no, that is not a proper life. क्या है? ब्रह्मचर्य क्या है? ब्रह्मचर्य मतलब गुरुकुल जाके स्टडी करके आ गया, बाद में शरीर शादी करना पड़ेगा और घर पे रहना चाहने का, घर को बढ़ाने का. अभी ब्रह्मचर्य क्या है? शादीशुदा छोड़ के सब छोड़ के इधर जा रहे हैं. So like that, you have studied nicely, you should do job and we earn good money and construct a good home, get married, have good children, educate them and send them to foreign. ये सब करना पड़ेगा. So that is status in the society now. Proper status, proper life in the society now. No parents will agree you to become brahmachari, giving up job and all the things. But हटके आया था हम सब, हटके रहना भी पड़ेगा. The knot tied between father and son is also implied. If one is not attached to family, but identifies as one possession of one's clothing, chair, or utensils, the bondage is not so great. See, the comparison is that just like there is there is bondage between wife and husband, similarly there is bondage between son and father, the parents and children. The example which I gave, when children want to become brahmacharis, the parent does not allow immediately. There is attachment in all aspects. They don't say no, don't go. But in comparison to that, attachment to objects is less, because objects don't bind us. अभी जब हम यूज करते हैं, जब हम किचन है तो हम उधर रखते हैं. They don't say that आप मुझे क्यों नहीं यूज कर रहे, मुझे छोड़ के क्यों जा रहे हैं, ऐसा कोई बोलेंगे नहीं, कोई ऑब्जेक्ट बोलेंगे नहीं. That is small bondage. But with people, there is a double bondage. So in that way. So attachment to clothing, chair, utensils is not so great, since there is no mutual bondage. Because of the mutual knots in the hearts, one falls under illusion, thinking, I am the householder, this is my house. I am the husband, I am the father, I am the son, I am this, I am that. That will have double attachment. That will bind one in this material world. And the last verse for today's class, 9th verse, will close, because this theme is completed in that way. I took this. Yada mano hrudaya grantirasya karmanubaddo druda ashlateta tada jana samparivartate smat mukta param yati atihayayetum.
When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life, due to the results of past action, is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives up the basic principle of religion and mind and becomes liberated. Thus, one goes to the transcendental world.
Yeah. How to come out of this perpetual bondage and double bondage? The solution given by Lord here. When the knot in the heart or mind, though tied tightly by the karmas, that knot becomes loose. The only solution is the tight knot should become loose. Then only we can become free from the knot. Otherwise, no. Then a person becomes free from the bondage between man and woman. Giving up ahankara, that I am this, I am the husband, I am wife, I am father, I am mother, I am this, I am that ahankara should be gone. One becomes liberated and attains the supreme abode. The only solution is when the knot becomes loose. थोड़ा लूज होगा तो knot निकल जाते, one is freed from the bondage. जब तक knot को टाइट करते करते रहेंगे तो हम उधर ही रुक जाएगा. knot को धीरे धीरे खोलना पड़ेगा. This verse explains when liberation takes place. When the knot in the heart, in the mind, in the intelligence and in the ego, though bound by karmas of the jivas, becomes loosened by practice of jnana and vairagya, one becomes detached from the condition of husband and wife. Slowly, one should practice jnana and vairagya. Then one becomes detached from the so-called material desires. Then removing the knot, one can go to forest, taking on to vanaprastha sannyasa. Then one can practice full-fledged jnana yoga and ashtanga yoga, and one can attain Sajya Mukti. So like that. Having given up the cause, the covering of ahankara, one becomes liberated and attain the supreme abode. Supreme abode is, for devotees it is Vaikuntha, for others it is Sajya. So like that. Yat gatva nivartante taddama parama mama. What was the previous verse? Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 verse number 5.
Nirmanam. Itasangadosha. Adhyatma nitva vinurtha. Vandvairunitva.
Sukadukha samnay gacchanta moda padamaviyam tat. Nirmana moha. Nirmana. One should not have any man. Nirmoha. One should not have any moha. Nirmana means I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. Not expecting respect from others. I am this, so you should respect. Nirmoha means I am this, I am that. Moha means I am this, I am that. Nirmoha means no such kind of identification, material identification. No expectation of so-called respect in the material world. Nirmana moha jissanga dosha. Giving up association of the doshas. the bad qualities, bad activities. Adhyatma Nitya. Every day make an endeavor on understanding the Adhyatma and trying to understand आत्मा क्या है, परमात्मा क्या है, दोनों के बीच में संबंध क्या है. आध्यात्म नित्य. विनिवृत्त कामा. One should be freed from, slowly gradually become free from material desires. विनिवृत्त कामा. निवृत्त हो जाना चाहिए काम से. Then what? द्वंद्वे विमुक्ता. One should become freed from the द्वंद्वास. What are kind of द्वंद्वास? सुख दुख समझर, हैप्पीनेस, डिस्ट्रेस. अभी आजकल बहुत तो ठंडी लग रहा है, थोड़ा गर्मी होनी चाहिए रूम में. ठंडी है, ठंडा पानी से स्नान करना मुश्किल, तो गर्म पानी चाहिए. दैट काइंड ऑफ द्वंद्व से विमुक्त होना चाहिए. And by practicing all these things, one should become amuda. One should not remain foolish. One should become intelligent of endeavor to go back to Godhead. Gacchante muda padamaviyantat. That persons will, that kind of people will go to avyaya padam. What is that avyaya padam? Natat bhashete suryo na shashanko na pavaka. In that avyaya padam, there is no need of sunlight. There is no need of moonlight. There is no need of fire. There is no need of vidyut. Hey, what is that? Yad gatva na nivartante. Having gone there, one will cannot come back. ऐसा है क्या? What is that? Padamavyam. Yad gatva na nivartante taddama paramama. That is my abode. What is that abode? Taddama paramama indicates Brahman also, Vaikuntha also. These qualities are indicating both Brahman as well as Vaikuntha. There is no need of sunlight and moonlight in the Brahman as well as in Vaikuntha. One will not come back having gone to Brahman as well as Bhagavan, Vaikuntha. So like that. और क्या? ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे.
You see, according to one's previous karma, there are some jivas or people who don't have natural affection for their family members. When a woman, हो सकता है, ऐसा रहता है. If their knot is already like loose and kind of thing.
Knot is there.
What is?
But in order to come out of knot, one should make Adhyatma Vritya. Adhyatma Nitya. Every day make an endeavor to understand Adhyatma. What is Atma, what is Paramatma, what is संबंध, दोनों के बीच संबंध क्या है, उसके ऊपर स्टडी करते रहने का. वो जब वो स्टडी बड़ा होते रहेगा ना, ये नॉट थोड़ा थोड़ा ढीला होता रहेगा. जब ये बड़ा होगा, ये ढीला होगा, वन पॉइंट पूरा नॉट निकल जाएगा. One is coming out of the family order, takes on to Vanaprastha or Sannyasa, kind of renunciation, and then practices Adhyatma Vidya 24/7. Full Jnana, full Ashtanga. Then ultimately leads to Sayujya.
मेरा प्रश्न है कि such kind of people who give up their home out of self detachment, वो मतलब वो genuine detachment है, उन्होंने experience भी किया होगा, क्या होगा, and they leave home giving up their duties, etc. So will they be, that is, they will be implicated by any reaction because they so much.
If they leave home, go out and enjoy there, they are implicated by the reaction. If they leave home, go to forest and practice Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga seriously, they will attain liberation. They are not implicated by any reaction. If leaving home is meant for going back to Godhead, they are not implied in the reactions. If it is for getting away from the responsibilities, then they are implied in the reactions.
What if there is, in present context, I was just thinking, those who don't get married only.
Louder. Who? People are afraid of responsibilities. People are afraid of future repercussions. Because nowadays the marriages are not lasting long. They are ultimately leading to divorce and all. They don't want to go to the trauma and all. Out of fear.
उसको मतलब एक डिटैचमेंट होता है, फियर भी होता है.
डिटैचमेंट नहीं उसको इररेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बोलते हैं.
मैं ये वाला ये केस ऐसा बोल रहा हूँ, ये डिटैचमेंट है, दिस इज फियर. So what in this thing, what should one be doing? Because
Who?
वो उसका जिना मतलब उसका fear है, बहुत बड़ा fear है वो.
See, first of all, people are marrying now. What is the purpose of marriage? At the basics only, we have lack of knowledge. The purpose is clear, marriage will not break. What is the purpose of marriage? Corona, worship Corona then.
उसमें भी कोई बहुत डिफिकल्टी होता है, उसमें भी डर है ना.
See, ultimately, see, Prajit, because our surroundings are not proper, that is the problem. Even though we may want to worship the Supreme Lord, our surroundings are not proper completely. Our upbringing is also not oriented towards it. Even though a boy and girl with a genuine desire come together to serve the Lord, serve devotees, but circumstances sometimes bewilder them. Circumstances sometimes pull them. There will be misunderstanding. There will be difference of opinion, which eventually lead to failure of the marriage. So it happens because it's we cannot find fault of the people always. Sometimes there could be fault of the people also, but sometimes there is a fault of the surroundings also. The environment in which we are living itself is not conducive. Then what to speak of other things? So,
This environment is with respect to the
culture, ambitions, motives, all these things. Requirements. First of all, in Bombay, if you want to stay, you need to earn at least 1 lakh per month. और नहीं होगा तो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन, देयर इज प्रॉब्लम. उसके लिए दोनों काम करना पड़ता है, वाइफ एंड हस्बैंड, वो सब चलता रहता है. आई एम टायर्ड, यू डू, यू आर टायर्ड, आई डू. सो ऑल दोस थिंग्स विल कम. अभी in the past, people happily used to do in the villages agriculture. 4 months or 6 months they used to work. 6 months they used to live peacefully. Agriculture, there is no hard work for entire year. 6 months only they have to work. Other 6 months they can do other things. They can spend more time in Shravanam Kirtanam. So nowadays also agriculture is not agriculture. Nowadays agriculture has become completely commercial. अभी तो आजकल लोग साल साल भर काम करते रहते हैं एग्रीकल्चर में. It's like that. In my childhood, as per my little observation, that there was no money-based crop. All crop is all eatables only. Whatever the farmer does, everything is eatables only. No money-based crop. Now hardly anybody is doing eatable crops. All money-based crops. Either cotton or corn or vegetables also they do only for money. Everything is now agriculture means is also money business. Previously they used to keep cows and buffaloes and bulls for the purpose of milk for the household requirements. If there is excess milk, they would give to others. But now they are actually growing the cows, that to Jersey cows, only for the only purpose of milk. So it's like that. Now the surrounding atmosphere has changed a lot. At least in my observation, if when I go home, now the motives are all priorities are different. All priorities are entirely different. Very difficult to sustain in this kind of environment. अभी ऐसा है, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन में क्या होगा कैसे होगा पता नहीं, अभी सोचते ही डर लगता है. One need to consciously make an effort not to dilute the family values. Then one can sustain. Not to dilute the family culture. If we dilute, difficult to continue for a long time. So it is like that. I'm sorry, I said something, but that is beyond my scope. I think we'll stop here. Both